With Malaysia's economic ascent continuing apace, the government is hoping to leverage its significant natural gifts by putting the tourism industry at the heart of a new plan to push Malaysia from a middle-income country to a high-income country.
Tourism is about innovation, about creativity, about new ideas.
Asia has seen remarkable change in the last decades, with countries throughout the region witnessing rapid economic growth and social change. Malaysia's own story has been one of rapid advancement in almost every developmental index since independence in the 1950s. The pace of development has accelerated in the last 2 decades as the country has been transformed from a producer of primary resources into a dynamic multi-sector economy. While much has been achieved, Malaysia, like many countries in Asia, is looking for ways to enter a new developmental phase, one that will move the country up the value chain, propelling Malaysia from middle-income status to high-income status by 2020. Malaysia will need to decrease its dependence on exports and find new ways to attract investments. As Malaysians become richer, the country will inevitably lose some of its cost advantage. As wages rise, cost advantage will therefore need to be replaced with a value advantage if Malaysia is to avoid falling into what economists call the middle-income trap.
It is very important for us because our vision is to make sure that Malaysia achieve high-income status by the year 2020. And for us, we must make sure that there's enough focus in those sectors that we choose to put all our resources in, and at the same time we create the conditions for competitiveness to flourish. So for us, we now currently Malaysia stand at what we call middle-high income, but it's not yet high income. So we are right now at the level where we have to really make sure that our last mile we push to get there. By the year 2020, we want to become a high-income economy.
With this in mind, in 2010, the government launched the new Economic Transformation Plan, known as the ETP for short. The ETP identified 12 national key economic areas, better known as the NKEA, to drive Malaysia towards being a high-income country. Tourism was identified as one of the 12 new key economic areas, or NKEA, selected for the ETP plan, based on an exhaustive assessment of which industries show the greatest potential for growth over a 10-year period.
There are many economies. What do we focus on? So in Malaysia, definitely, we focus on developing Malaysia's services economy. Currently, service economy contributes to about 57% of GDP. Tourism contributes 6%, which is quite high, because globally, tourism contributes 5%.
With the tourism sector already 6% of GNI, the government hopes that Malaysia can be rapidly transformed into one of the premier tourist destinations in the world.
Tourism is a very big contributor to our economy, and it does contribute very significantly to our GNI. Something like 37 billion ringgit of GNI contribution is one of the top 7 contributors to our GNI. In fact, Malaysia is the 9th most visited country in the world. A lot of people come to Malaysia. But we think today there is possibility for us to increase our tourism numbers and also the receipt and the contribution to 3-4. That means 3 times between now and the year 2020.
There is little doubt that Malaysia has everything it needs to excel in tourism. The country is blessed with both outstanding natural beauty and a diverse and fascinating culture. The Malaysia Truly Asia slogan is already well known around the world, and tourists will continue to travel to Malaysia from all over the world to experience the country's natural environment and diverse culture. So the challenge is not one of reinventing the wheel, but rather how to offer a complete package of experiences and generate more revenue from what is already in place.
Malaysia is blessed by the greatest of nature. Over 50% of Malaysia is still under forests. And we are also blessed with over 1,000 islands. Many are not inhabited. Beautiful islands, beautiful diving spots, lovely beaches. What we made up with was Malaysia Truly Asia.
Coping with this influx of different nationalities can present a significant challenge in terms of what different cultures expect from a holiday experience. Knowing your customers is key when it comes to positioning yourself as a premier tourist destination. While the country can rely on a steady stream of tourists from the intermediate region, the net is widening all the time. This change is being felt in Desaru, a pristine coastal resort in the southeastern Johor region of Malaysia.
So in Desaru Coast, there are actually a few firsts, if I can elaborate. It will be the first Aman Country Club and Villas in the region. It will be the first Datai outside Langkawi. It will be the first Els Club in Malaysia in terms of the managing of the two golf courses. We're also building 2 theme parks, and it will be the first marine park in Malaysia that focuses on interaction with the marine animals and with the intention of raising the educational awareness and the care for the environment.
Marketing Malaysia in new areas of the world also remains a major challenge. Malaysia, a well-established marketing campaign aimed at the European market, but with household budgets increasingly squeezed by the financial crisis in the West, it is important to tap into the burgeoning markets in India and China.
One challenge that I feel is key for us to address is actually the marketing of our destination in the global place. We're already doing that by our participation in the world travel market and the likes, but I think that needs to be intensified if we want to be a preferred destination, because we are in the region which is known for its leisure and tourism products. So we are competing with the likes of Bali, with the likes of Phuket, and even Singapore for that matter. So we really need to focus on marketing, and the various tourism agencies and the private sector players needs to coordinate and to ensure that we market the place together.
Preserving the environment is a top priority for the Malaysian government, and finding the right balance between attracting more visitors, bringing more revenue to the country, and conservation is at the forefront of policymakers' minds.
So we want to go even broader and deeper into ecotourism on the basis of ecotourism plan, which is no more than 50% of Malaysia's land space will be developed.
Striking the right balance between tourism, development, and preserving the environment means finding new ways to generate revenue from foreign visitors. One obvious solution is retail tourism. Retail centres are generally located within population centres and therefore have less environmental impact.
Shopping. We are very focused on shopping. How do we have our target? Malaysia, as of 2010, tourists spend 28% of their budget on shopping. Okay? But we want to move it to 38% by 2020. In Malaysia, come and buy cosmetics, come and buy all your branded goods, come and buy your jewelries. It's all duty free.
Malaysia is a bargain comparing to Singapore. You know, not only hotels, but in terms of food, shopping, we are a lot more reasonable. Perhaps it could be the exchange rate that make a difference, but again, you know, it would be shopping heaven, for travelers down to this part of the world.
One of the biggest new retail centres in Malaysia has been built in Johor. Johor Premium Outlets was conceived as a centre for premium outlets that would attract visitors from across Southeast Asia.
Well, maybe because the whole Asian community are crazy shoppers, but that's besides the point. I have to say, for Malaysia, probably it was a very compelling proposition. If you talk of Malaysia, is very well known as a tourist destination, and it's also has a great. AirAsia, I think, is well known, has really contributed to tourism and travel, and is a Malaysian based airline. And especially for tourists looking for something different, especially from the Middle East, Malaysia is right in the middle of the Southeast Asian hub, if you want. Yeah. We are very proud, okay, to be the first premium outlet center in Southeast Asia. Premium outlet centers are a brand that is well known to shoppers around the world. And to be able to bring this platform to Malaysia was an achievement in itself. Okay, the nearest sister properties is actually in Japan and Korea. And when we first opened Johor Premium Outlets, many people in the industry were very surprised that Malaysia could attract such an investment here.
Vital to success of any attempt to increase visitor numbers to Malaysia will be a modern transportation infrastructure and the availability of high, medium and budget cost accommodation to cater for the different needs of tourists.
Well, you see the new destinations, there is a certain element of investment that is required that will not yield the returns that will make it attractive to the private sector. For example, infrastructure. So when we develop destinations, we identify new locations, and in order to promote the new location, you need to invest in infrastructure. And because of that, we have to make the investment, and the idea is to attract the private sector to later participate. So we provide the platform for the private sector to participate in the new destination.
Intra-Asia travel is a leading factor for the growth in Kuala Lumpur, especially now, with AirAsia being one of the biggest budget airlines here in Asia itself, has managed to bring a lot of travelers down to this part of the world. So that certainly contributes to the growth of Malaysia. Malaysia has come a long way. In fact, a lot of emphasis and efforts has been put in by our government.
Lots of things are happening. There are lots of hotels being built within the city area. You can see today, even within our city area, one of the common complaints they have is public transport isn't as good as they would like it to be. We are building a huge mass rapid transit, like the London Underground, that's being built as we speak today. The first line will be completed by the year 2017. We reduce traffic congestion.
Another major focus for tourism industry development as part of the MyCEB is to attract more conferences to Malaysia. The key to further development of this sector is to provide the infrastructure to attract business and conventions. Malaysia's Convention and Exhibition Bureau is charged with the task of making Malaysia one of the preferred destinations for business in the region.
We have been given tasks under the economic transformation programs. We're given two entry points programs. One is the entry point 7, is international events, and the other one is EPP 10, which is business event. Under the business event, EPP 10, which we are focusing on the business event or the MICE, we are looking at making Malaysia a preferred destination and to make Malaysia one of the top 5 destinations for meeting by 2020. In 2010, we have 1.2 million. That was about 10 billion ringgit of revenue to the country from this sector. So by 2020, we would be able to generate an incremental gross national income of about 3.9 billion to the country from this segment, and it also will contribute to some 16,000 jobs opportunity to the country. It is important to note that though that the percentage of business tourism is small, but the contribution in terms of the revenue for the country is big. Here we are talking about average per delegate spend about 7,418, which is 3 times more than the leisure tourists when they come to Malaysia. So imagine that if one business tourist spend about 7,400, and if the number increase, then see how much we can get in terms of revenue and also economic impacts to the country. The value for money, where they have to pay, I would say, less compared to some other destinations in this region. For example, like if you talk about accommodation, you get 5-star hotel facilities being only pay at 4-star price. You will get a mix, a variety of Asian foods, fruits in one destination. You will get all those culture of Asia in Malaysia. On top of that, with the state-of-the-art facilities offered by these centers, convention centers, the hotels, they would be able to give you the better services in terms of telecommunication, in terms of services provided. They have the people in the industry as well who are professional in running or manning this event in our country.
One of the landmark developments that helped to put Malaysia on the map as far as conventions are concerned has been the Kuala Lumpur Convention Centre.
For Malaysia and KL in particular, we are glad that we have the Kuala Lumpur Convention Centre. It was opened in mid-2005. Something which we feel like timely that they built or developed the centre, because without the centre in Kuala Lumpur, quite difficult for us to move and get more events, bigger events to Kuala Lumpur or to Malaysia for that matter. So when they started in 2005, until now, there are a lot of events being secured at this place.
Looking to build on the success of the Kuala Lumpur Convention Centre, further convention centres are now in the planning, including a new mega convention centre called KL Metropolis.
So in 2014, end of 2014, we are looking at new convention center to be built, to be ready in Kuala Lumpur under the whole integrated project called KL Metropolis. This center will accommodate about, will have about 1 million square feet. It's about 90,000 square meters of space. So it is also will help Kuala Lumpur to bring more events should there be any shortage in the future. So we have option that, you know, apart from the old one, quite but they've been refurbished, the Putra Water Center, and we have in the Putrajaya, we have the Putrajaya International Convention Center, which is also one of the good convention, purpose-built convention center cater for Putrajaya and also work to have the event in that city.
While attracting businesses and other international organisations to Malaysia is one battle, keeping them in Malaysia even for a few extra hours can have a multiplying effect both in terms of extra revenue and in terms of spreading the word abroad about what Malaysia has to offer.
Under the ETP of Malaysia, I think the government's done a very good job. That's why we have to come up with a lot of innovative products. Example, like Kuala Lumpur City Gallery is one of the new innovative products that can attract more tourists to see different kind of things in one center. Kuala Lumpur City Gallery is located within the Heritage National Monuments, right? So we are talking about 3,000 to 5,000 tourists a day. So with the Kuala Lumpur City Gallery located in the middle of the heritage building here, the monuments here. So we are hoping to get at least 1,000 to 2,000 tourists a day to visit our center. The quality and diversity of architectures of Kuala Lumpur is totally different with the rest of the city in the world, okay? Because first of all, we have multi-racial cultures, so the blend with the architectures, we have input through all the races, I think it's different.
A key component of the tourism NKEA is the promotion of family-oriented tourism attractions, including theme parks. The construction of several resorts is already well underway. 2012 saw the opening of Asia's first Legoland, a concept that has already proved to be extremely popular with Asian tourists visiting Europe.
We need to continue to build upon our family tourism. We need to continue to build that. Theme parks. We need to have more theme parks. We need to have more resorts where people come together. So we are going to develop very major resorts.
The Legoland theme park, as you know, was opened sometime in September this year, and we are in the midst of constructing the Lego Hotel, and it should be ready by Q1 2014. So when the hotel is ready, you will have a complete experience on the Lego, from the hotel to the theme park, and also they're planning for a water park there. We have a few investments in Iskandar, Malaysia. The first is an integrated development in Puteri Harbour, which is a waterfront development. We are building a traders hotel there, and it should be completed by Q1 next year. There'll be some retail and F&B area as well, about 100,000 square feet. It will also house a family entertainment center. In fact, the family entertainment center has already been opened sometime in September this year. So the family entertainment center actually houses the first Hello Kitty town, and also the Little Big Club, where if you have young children, then you'll know that you have Bunny, Bob the Builder, and the likes. You know. And it's done very well.
Many within the tourism industry believe that training of new industry professionals as well as upgrading of the existing skills pool will be essential if the aims of the ETP are to be realized.
We in Malaysia have an advantage in the sense that our people are naturally warm and friendly. But we need to complement that. You need to have them properly trained, and you need to arm them with the product knowledge of what they have in the country. Because ideally what you want is that you want all these 400 or 500,000 employees to be a tourist guide in their own right. There is a lot of tourism school in Malaysia, but we should have more. But what is more important is actually on-the-job training. And in particular with the established brand operators, because these people have the proper and proven training program, procedures and all that. So in my view, we should have more internship program where you have the student from the tourism school, and they have some time with to have on-the-job experience, and with the established brand operators and all that.
3 years into the ETP, the tourism sector has seen progress on every front, from retail parks, beach resorts, convention centres, cultural centres, and family resorts and theme parks. The full tourism matrix is taking its shape. While there remains plenty to do in terms of increasing capacity, such as improved transportation infrastructure and the developing of human skills, there is no doubt that tourism is playing a vital role in driving Malaysia towards the goal of becoming a high-income nation by 2020. Iconic structure, world-class infrastructure, thriving and dynamic, bursting with people, passionate fans, the world's biggest celebrities, sold-out crowds, latest venue, host to the F1, and all the stars of sport. Malaysia, the destination for major events. In the heart of Asia, you find iconic locations with the space you need, which balances all you want, and places to unwind. It is Asia in a single destination. Inspire and attract the strongest delegates through luxury, convenience and infrastructure. An innovative approach to meetings, world-class hospitality, attractive value for money propositions. Malaysia, Asia's business events hub.